Hope the screen which I have shared is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir, you can see this.
Yes, anybody? Yeah, thank you. So today we are going to start our discussion on SDN, software defined networking. Some intro about that. What is it? In the network layer perspective, how to differentiate between the conventional data plane and control plane architecture with software defined networking concepts. This is generalized forwarding, and which we already had a discussion about data plane, control plane, what is the meaning of routing table, what is the meaning of forwarding table, all those. Each router contains the flow table that is computed and distributed by logically centralized routing controller. The meaning of the computed and distributed, the meaning of computation, what actually it does, what computation it will perform. It's a routing algorithm. It will calculate how many devices or edge devices or intermediate devices got connected to the networking elements like routers, including routers. How many routers got connected? In each routers, how many devices got connected? The all total history about what is the current possible devices which can be used to do a routing. So for that purpose, since you have done a study on the implementation of Dijkstra's algorithm, it's in general a routing algorithm from source to the destination. A packet has to move. Intermediately, how many switching devices are available. By selecting which particular switches as a pathway, the packet can reach to the destination faster. And at the same time, how the RTT also can come down, because once a packet is moving here, then the acknowledgement also has to come. The acknowledgement also has to follow the same way of protocol what we discuss here. You just will imagine how much time it will take. So all these process will happen very fast in terms of 100 milliseconds, 200 milliseconds. Sometimes if the server has been located in a far away, in the sense geographically the server is located in somewhere, to reach to that particular point, it has to cross the multiple switching elements. So each switching elements, it has its own bottleneck switching time and many things what we discussed, and buffering, delay in buffering, queuing. Connect all together, then we can visualize how much time delay it will take. So we have to optimize the flow. So this is called the computation. By computing optimum pathway, the packet has to move towards to this path. Accordingly, the checklist will be prepared. Okay, the minister's visit to Coimbatore. I used to take this one in general because if it is something emergency services, what type of arrangements is being made from airport to the Coimbatore city in some location, Codicea trade fair. So intermediately, how many routes are there? So from the administrative head of the district headquarters, so that's a control panel. Control room is there. So they will pass a message to the police, the district DSP, district superintendent of police. They will get a command. That command will be executed by the local, the regional police stations, and that regional police stations, they will communicate to their traffic constables like that. This is the hierarchy. So here the control plane actually is the administrative head. So that administrative head normally knows about in and out process of what happens in the context of that particular event. Majorly the control plane only knows about. In the analogy of the traffic constable content which I was talking, they need not to be aware of who is going to come, why it is going to happen, all those. They will get a message, all the vehicles will come here. If there is a 4-lane junction is there, 4 roadway junctions are there, all the vehicles, irrespective whether except certain type of ambulance devices, the vehicles has to be rerouted to the port 1 to port 3, like that. Remaining for the particular time period, it has to be done. So that's the instructions. That's called the local flow table. So if you understand this, it's very easy because the flow table will get updated periodically. The same flow table cannot be used because the routing process also will get updated. Number of devices is getting connected and coming in, going out. If according to that the routing also has to be recalculated. Then if there is any update in the routing table, then accordingly the flow table also get updated. So all these process is being performed in a 2 plane, data plane and control plane. Data plane is actually corresponds to a hardware where just a minute. Yes. So the data plane is actually exists in the hardware. So the commands comes from the different locations. Sometimes in the conventional devices, even in the control plane also may exist in the same hardware. Now, when the concept of SDN, software defined networking, all these control planes are operated from the remote locations. So SDN. And the another concept which I have explained about NFV, network function virtualization. It will create a certain functionality, say as a virtual. It won't be existing, but it will create certain phenomena to make sure that the packet routing happens relatively faster and all those things. So that NFV corresponds to, because the concept of NFV we can understand only after if we are clear with what is SDN. Okay. At present, I'm not going to talk about NFV. So SDN is having a control plane. Is actually SDN means immediately in our mind we have to get switching devices. Okay. That switching device has a 2 plane. Data plane, okay, it's there inside. Where is control plane? Control plane is going to be connected with the remote locations. But in a previous conventional system has both control and data plane on the same hardware. Hope you understood that. Do you have any doubts here? Anybody?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, the flow table, local flow table, headers, which has the headers, counters, and actions. What are the operations to be performed? The structure of the flow table we can see it a little bit later. Get an idea about how overall process is happening. What is happening? Okay. So the values in arriving a packet header. Normally, in the flow table already we discussed about in the separate table where we had a discussion. If the header address starting from this particular range to this range, irrespective of that, if the header address, destination address, IP address, if it is ranging this particular region, immediately all packets will be routed to the packet port number 2. As per this, I am explaining here. Then, if it is coming in other range, it will be rerouted to the other pathway. What is the context here? If the destination address is different, that means as per the outcome of the computed routing algorithm, which will decide if a person wants to move from this place to that other place, these many switching elements are there as per the diagram which we see here. In 5 switching elements are there. Which is the shortest path? But this pathway is dynamically will get updated. Sometimes some devices may get connected, disconnected, all those. Accordingly, this computation will happen. Then the table, local flow table also will get updated. Like each flow table also will get updated about if any packet comes as an input which has this particular addressing range, then shift that input packet to the corresponding port. As per this is a 4-port device. 1, 2, 3. It's the input port. So the overall scenario can be taken like this. Please hold on for a moment. Yes. Now, open flow data plane abstraction. Flow is actually means that defined by a header fields. Flow means the packet has to move from which port to which port and all those. So open flow is a open source platform. I will show you now. Please hold on. I'll talk about that. Please be online. So I'm sharing the screen now. Okay. This is open flow. So since it's actually, we are not going in depth on that, just I'm showing you the info about, you can explore more. It's defined the communication protocol in SDN architectures that enable the SDN controller to directly interact with the forwarding plane of the network devices. So it's a protocol which will help to define, to calculate, to estimate the routing, optimum routing path. And it will update all the information to the all forwarding tables, which is connected on the networking. So this is the concept of open flow. You can explore that. So with this, I will show you some of the softwares which can be used for establishment of the SDN at the end of this session. Okay. Now, the generalized forwarding, a simple packet handling rules, a pattern, the match values in packet headers, which will have 4 attributes, the actions for a matched packet. So for the incoming packet, if it is matching that particular specific key, then it can decide whether that packet has to be dropped or forwarded, or it's to be modified, or matching to the forward, sending to the which part. All these operations also can be performed. The open flow protocol actually it has the provisions. So it means what? The data packet comes that can be dropped, which we can experience normally when we go for a network security aspect. How that network security protocols has been written, it's the same way. If any IP addresses which is having this particular range of IP addresses that can be blocked, how that blocking happens because of like that. And certain priority, if some packets, this priority which we discussed during the queuing in the switching devices, which will have regular normal packets and highest priority packets. So during the switching time in the fabric, switching fabric, packets which is lying in the priority region, those packets will be served first, then the remaining packets will be processed based on first in first out basis. So it will calculate how many number of bytes it's being served for a period and all those. So that's called the counters. The flow table in a router all these operations which we can write as a module, as a program. So the flow table in a router computed and distributed by the controller, which already I have explained. So from the control plane, all the computation is being performed, then it will come to the down. Define routers match and action rules. So which is actually can be written in this fashion. This is the some rules written in the flow. Especially by using an open flow, we can say like, if a packet has the source ID, source IP address, something like this here, and destination has like this, that means this source and destination may be unauthorized access. If any IP addresses is sending request or getting a reply from our computers to this destination address, drop that packet. Don't send it to that. So that's the point number one. Then source may be anything within a, if it is in a broadcast mode, star dot star dot star, destination to this particular, only for this, from source to this particular region 3.4.x.x, then forward to port number 2. Then source is 10.1.2.3. The destination can be, if it is anything, forward to the controller. Forward that message to the controller. It may be for to check for authentication, whether a source is coming like this, the destination it is going for any, it's maybe in a broadcasting mode. Before broadcasting the information from the source of the device, it can recheck, yes, is it a valid or not. The controller can do a checking of that. So this is the operation. Open flow, flow table entries. A rule, action, and statistics. How many packets? Byte counters. Totally how many packets is being sent. All the statistical information about the packet will be available here. Action. What all types of action can be performed by using OpenFlow? Forward a packet to port, encapsulate and forward the controller. Encapsulate in the sense it will add a more security provisions with that. And third option, which we discussed, drop packet. Fourth operation will be performed, send to a normal processing pipeline. Normal processing pipeline in the sense, assuming that if there is no routing devices which is not controlled in the remotely, without having SDN, how that system will operate. Send to the normal processing pipeline, then it will send the regular pipeline process. Why I'm saying is that normal pipelining in the sense, a flow table can be by a default flow table may exist over there. Because when we periodically the flow table inside a system must get updation from the control plane. Then only the switching will happen. Then modify a field. So these are all the 5 major operations being performed. Then if you see the rules, this module, a TCP source port, destination port, IP source port, destination port. This corresponds to a network layer. So combinedly these two, transport layer and a network layer, it is called TCP/IP. We used to speak about the general protocol is called TCP/IP. If it is only IP, then it is corresponds to network layer. TCP/IP means surely it is having a connection with the contribution of the TCP protocol, which you please recollect that what are the points we studied in RDT 3.0 and above. So this is network layer and transport layer, and the link layer informations. What is the type of link layer? Hope you can see that in our computers when we type the ping some IP address, or if you see IP config command, then you can see ETH type, what is a MAC, source MAC address, and destination MAC address. So how many of you are aware of the MAC address of device? Hope it's there in every devices, which will have source and destination MAC address and virtual LAN ID. All these things are belongs to link layer. Then switching port. So these are all the data corresponds to this what type of pattern. Some examples. For destination based forwarding. Destination based forwarding. For that, how the overall process of or template of a data which is being processed or created or developed by the OpenFlow. It will look like this. Destination based forwarding. It means that we need to forward certain packet to that particular specific destination. So then it's supposed to be like this. IP destination that has to be mentioned with the 51.6.0.8 IP port. Okay, or this can be star. Star maybe it's a don't care. And action, what is to be performed is port 6. So destination based forwarding means in the OpenFlow, it has to create a structure, IP datagrams destined to IP address of this one, forwarded to a router port 6. So structure, a template of a data which is to be created by using OpenFlow must have a structure like this. Then there is an option called a firewall, which already I told. Firewall. The meaning of firewall is what? If anything comes through on this particular port, whether it is to be forwarded or dropped. Do not forward, that means block all datagrams destined to a port number 22. Which 22? In TCP port. So port number 22, if anything goes to the port number 22 of our computer, has to be stopped. So this is called one fundamental operation of a firewall, blocking. Then another type of a firewall operation, do not forward all datagrams sent by a host. So this is destination based blocking. If from the destination somebody wants to access this particular TCP port number 22, then another one is IP address based blocking. If any all datagrams sent by a host from the source, because it is mentioned either it is source destination, source IP, or source IP address, destination IP address, and the TCP source port and the destination port. Like that, it can. These two are correspondence to TCP. IP protocol. What is the type of protocol? And this is for network layer. Okay. So this is called firewall. Then third one, destination based layer 2. This normally inside our college campus, they used to implement this. For example, your students, those who want to get internet connectivity from the hostel. Sometimes if the students are coming and taking their laptop inside a lab area, even though all devices got connected to the common network of the university's network, sometimes they may not get the access. Why it happens so? because all the students, they are supposed to register their laptop. The laptop will have its own MAC address. During the facility of accessing the internet connection, first time when you access from your laptop to the college Wi-Fi or LAN or whatever it's on, through your username ID, then it will have a registry about a device, which device you are using is a mobile or laptop, then corresponding IP addresses. But the assigning the IP addresses already we discussed. DHCP, Dynamic Host Control Protocol. But the IP address, if somebody is doing it manually, to make sure that, okay, he don't want to get visible to the outside. So for that time, whether that particular IP address, which is manually set by the user, can be permitted or not, all those things decision will be taken over here. So now what I want to connect here is that the MAC address, our device will have its own IP address. So the ICTS, they will maintain all this information about each device. What packet, at what time, when, where, all transaction. It will be logged in. There will be a separate log for each users. So for a period, they used to update it. So packet transaction is totally can be monitored easily, but which may require some amount of a technical knowledge base to identify from where to where it is moving, and all those things only we are studying here. Some aspect how things are working, and if you understood, if you interpret, because we need not to do a real-time implementation, because already we do every day. But when we see that action, how it has to be perceived, that's the point. Okay, behind the scene, these many actions is being performed. If you are clear with that, then it is very easy. Okay, so now the another MAC address based forwarding is explained here. So the MAC source MAC address, if it is lying between in this particular MAC address, if anybody is getting connected, so what actions to be done is a port 3. If any request comes from this particular MAC address, connect to the port 3. So inside a campus, even each and even faculty, students, everybody's MAC address will be repository and stored. In some locations, the students, when you come here in one lab, you will get a LAN connectivity. In another lab, you won't be getting that LAN connectivity. That restrictions is imposed based on this MAC address. Why it is very important is that, yeah, the IP address will be same, or whenever you go in a LAN local area network connectivity, in that particular location, the IP based switching will be performed successfully. But one team of people, they should not get the access in another locations. If that restrictions to be imposed, then this MAC based the hardware should not be utilized in that particular region. That can be controlled by using this type of destination based layer 2 forwarding. Yeah. So the open flow abstraction, the overall operation, which unifies the different kinds of devices router, match and action. What is a match? Longest destination IP prefix. Longest destination IP prefix. And action, forward out a link. It has to forward the packet. First, it has to do two operations, the matching. That matching builder already told. The ternary TCAM, ternary computation of something which I was, logic which we, algorithm, which will help to calculate the destination IP address within a single clock cycle. Clock period, it will calculate. So that's the one operation is the router is performing. What the switch is doing? The destination MAC address, because one switch to the another switch, if you want to communicate, all the switches will have its own MAC address. So as we discussed, the physical layer, all hubs, USB hub and all, will have only physical layer. Physical layer module, it don't have any addressing. From the link layer onwards, the addresses will be there, MAC address. Okay. So the switches will have, why the switches relatively is intelligent device than the hubs because of this MAC address. The forwarding table can be implemented over there based on the flow table information. It can do some sort of intelligent operations. If something comes, if it is matching this particular parameter, do this operation, don't do that. Like that, that type of intelligence can be imposed in the or implemented in these switches. The next higher level implementations or intelligence will be there in a router. So already we discussed about it. So the destination MAC address, the matching operation to be performed, and forward or flood. The meaning of forward and flood means, forwarding means to one port to the another port, or flood in the sense send the same information to all. It's called broadcasting. So that also can be performed. The another operation is called a firewall. Yeah, one single device can, single module of OpenFlow can provide the control information for multiple devices like a router. That's the thing which I want to convey here. Sorry, router and switch, and for a firewall. In a firewall, it will match the IP addresses and TCP or UDP port numbers. Permit or deny, this is the operations can be performed. NAT, network address translation, which we discussed in the previous session. The IP address and port, it will check with the IP address and port and rewrite the address and port. So rewriting this particular operations also can be initiated by the OpenFlow abstractions. So one example, datagrams from the host 5 and host 6 should be sent to host 3 and or host 4 via S1 and from there to S2. So here you can see S1, S3, S2, S1, S2, S3 is a switching device. Host 1, so it starts from here, host 1, host 2, 3, 4, this is 5 and 6. Now what is the requirement? The datagrams from the host 5 and host 6 should be sent to host 3. From 5 to 6, 5 to and 6, both from 5 and 6, it has to should be sent to H3 or H4. So it has to pass through H3. The H3 is here or H4. So then means what? It has to reach to this particular pathway. So that's the meaning. So via S1. So what is the meaning of S1 QO? The another constraint is also given. Via S1 and from there to S2. So it should not directly reach to the, that's a constraint. So for this, how to write the source and destination forwarding information here, you see. From here, the match source address, it should be 10.3 some number, which we are talking about the host 5 and 6, no? IP address 10.3.0.6 or 10.3.05. So that's why it was given 10.306, 10.3. Just a minute. There is a source destination address. You see here, there is a family of IP addresses also is mentioned. 10.3.xx is the one set. 10.2.xx is another set. 10.1.1.1 is another set. You can see 3 different sets. Okay. Now, the source is 10.3.xx from where, and the another family is S2. This is the destination point. It has to reach to the destination point. But do you know what is happening here? Forward through port number 3. It is given like that. It actually, by keeping in mind that the shortest path, it has to decide a port number 4. But it was given as forward to the port 3. The reason is the rules was given like that. It has to flow through a switch, another switch, which is named as S1 switch. From the S1 switch, it has to reach to the port 4. Now, assume that the packet has reached to the S1 through a port 1. Now, ingress, here ingress in the sense when it is reaching from the input is coming from the another switch S3 to the S1 through a port number 1. That's called ingress. IP source address 10.3xx. So from here it has to decide destination address. If something has this particular type of matching, here also the same matching is being performed. But what happens here? The forwarding to number 4. The number 4 is decided over here. This forward table, which already I have explained, the same thing is given the graphical way to get the clarity on that. So because of forwarding into a port number 4, the rules which is given over here, no, that is being satisfied. So from the 4, if it is forwarded all packets through this particular forward port number 4, surely it will reach to the S2. Source is S3, which is flowing like this. That is can be implemented like this. So the open flow, what actually it will do, which is providing this control table from the remote location. You see here everything is connected in the dotted line. So it is providing the data, how the data has to flow. Who is giving the open flow controller, which will pass a message to all the routers by providing the forwarding table, updated forward table as per the requirement. So all the provisions which we discussed here, no, the router, switch, firewall, NAT, any operations can be initiated by sitting in a remote location. The open flow controller can perform. So that's the idea. Now, when it is reaching to the destination here, if it is coming to the part 2, destination is 2 point, forward to the port number 3. Port number 3 here is actually the device IP address. So if it is for destination port is equal to this one, then connect to this port. Very simple logic, but conceptually, if you clear, then the same thing has to happen for the huge connected devices. So hereafter, your vision should be in the perspective that how fast and all these switching operations to be performed, and how we can do a controlling of flow of data that we have seen. So this is the overview of chapter 4. So with this, the chapter 4 is over. So the next class we will discuss about the routing algorithm, the network layer in a data plane, and how the data can be controlled over like that. part we will discuss chapter 4, chapter 5. Network layer, the control plane, and the traffic engineering, how things are happening inside SD, and some intro. I will discuss about that. Open flow protocol. So today what I gave is very foundation fundamental. So that will have some detail. A Dijkstra algorithm which you have done implementations. Open daylight controller, something. Okay, I'll give some outline. With that, we will stop for that. So hereafter, majorly related to our course of networking courses, content is being covered. So we will discuss about